What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video, but I'm going to go ahead and just change it up a little bit for you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and do this voiceover, and I'm fucking excited to do this shit because this is something new, something refreshing, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some good content. So if you're listening to this, sit back, relax, and just enjoy this voiceover. It's going to be quick, it's going to be like 5 minutes long, but I'm going to go ahead and just talk to you guys about how to manage your emotions in powerlifting. I think this is a very good topic to talk about because I think a lot of people, I'm not gonna say a lot, I think most, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna say all. I'm gonna say all people. All people experience this level of disappointment at some point in their training. And what do I mean by disappointment? What I mean is basically everyone has expectations, and when you have that expectation and when it's not met, then you're gonna be filled with disappointment. Now, I think powerlifters in general probably try to avoid disappointment, which is completely opposite of your evolution as a lifter. I think you should oftentimes experience disappointment because you will. You will oftentimes experience disappointment, especially if you're trying to be a competitive powerlifter. Especially if you're trying to qualify for nationals, you're trying to, be top, 25, top 15, top 10, top 5 in the fucking country. You're going to experience some level of disappointment. A lot. I'm not gonna say some. I'm gonna say a lot. I don't know why I keep saying some, but for sure a lot. That just comes with the territory when you are trying to achieve something that is a lot bigger than yourself. And so, how do you manage this, right? What do I see that I think a lot of people mismanage their disappointments? Oftentimes, I see people when they go through this level of disappointment, I often see people start to overreact. Now, what do I mean by overreacting? Now, let's say you have a bad week of training. Let's say you have a bad day, bad week, bad month. And what tends to happen is powerlifters automatically just compare themselves to someone else that is doing way better than them. You know, they look over, they look over to the fence and they see that the grass is green on the other side, and this lifter has all the genetics. This lifter has all the limb lengths. He has all the muscle mass. He has all the strength. Whereas I come back to my fence on this side where the grass is less greener, and I'm just like, oh, I don't have any of these things, so that just makes me a very, very bad powerlifter. And I truly believe this type of thinking is so unproductive and it's just so unreasonably just toxic. It's so unreasonable, guys. Um, this level, this mindset has to change if you are going through this because you're not going to go anywhere if you're going to keep banging your head against the wall with this type of unproductive thinking. So now, how do you manage this disappointment? There has to be two things that has to be considered. You have to look at the two variables. You have to look at outside the gym, and you have to look at your programming. Okay. Now, outside the gym is pretty self-explanatory. If you're not sleeping well, if you're not eating well, if you're stressed out at your job, if you're stressed out at home, you're stressed out with your girlfriend, you're stressed out with your parents, you're stressed out with family, or whatever the case may be, you guys have to get that handled. You need to get that shit handled. You have to start sleeping more. You have to start, eating better. Count your macros. Make sure you're eating all your meals. Make sure you're getting your calories in. Make sure you're sleeping, anywhere from 7 to 9 hours a night. Resolve the issues that you have with your family or with your girlfriend or your wife or your kids, whatever the case may be. That needs to be resolved. If you're not resolving that at all, then don't expect your training to go well. If you have one aspect of your life that is completely lacking, then all things are going to be lacking in your life. Has to change. You have to be able to have that balance and be able to manage the things outside the gym. Now, let's talk a little bit about programming. There's going to be two things that I think are going to be very prevalent to most people. Two things. It's either you're not working hard enough or you are working too hard. Now, if you're not working hard enough, this is gonna be the term of sandbagging. Like, if in your volume sets, if you're still doing the same amount of, like, let's say you're doing the same intensity for the same volume, like, let's say you're doing volume, right? Let's just talk about volume. And you're doing the same intensity on your volume sets, but you expect your singles, your top end strength, you expect that number to go up, but you are literally doing the same thing for your volume sets, then you're not going to progress, guys. You're not going to get better. You're not going to get better. Those singles are going to remain the same. You know what I'm saying? How can I be a 600-pound squatter if I'm doing my volume sets with 135 pounds? That just doesn't make sense. I know that's a very extreme example, but I hope you guys see like where where I'm trying to fit that point. And then the second point is you're probably doing too much. Are you doing too much? Are you doing too many working sets? Are you not recovering enough? Are you overshooting your RPEs? Are you do you need to cut your workloads in half? That might be a possibility, and that might be something that you may need to look into. So keep that in consideration, guys. oftentimes it's going to be written on your program, and you just have to be able to look for those things. So if you guys found this video a little bit insightful, just a little tidbit and a little bit of keys, a little bit of all the stuff, go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one.